Hello everybody, I'm John Hindorf, welcoming you to the 24H series powered by Hankook. We've had exciting races in Dubai and Mugello, and now the teams are preparing for the third race of the season here at SPA-FRANCORCHAMPS in Belgium. It's 41 teams, 50 cars, 11 different brands, 158 drivers representing 26 nations. A superb grid at the Hankook 12 Hours of Spa. Every single driver comes to this iconic circuit with reverence and respect. Respect particularly for one of the undisputable legendary turns in motor racing. The famous, or perhaps infamous, Eau Rouge. So while Spa is the third race of the 2023 season, it's the second of the European Championship still to come. The Cathedral of Speed, that is Monza, a new venue with a 6-hour qualifying race for 18 hours of racing at Estoril, and we'll round things up as tradition dictates in the middle of September for the 24 Hours of Barcelona. The excitement doesn't only take place on the track, and it's already started as Dutch promoter Creventic has brought real motorsport enthusiasm to the town of Malmedy, near to the track. The cars and drivers on show to the public in the city square. Great fun, not just for the thousands of fans, but for the drivers as well, especially for the non-pro drivers. Motorsport fans, as well as friends and family, experience close up the fascination of endurance racing, and some of the drivers take the opportunity to do the autograph session for the fans. Of course, whatever goes on away from the circuit, the biggest attraction this weekend is the racetrack itself. The circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, a classic Grand Prix track with corners that are household names around the world for motorsport fans. Eau Rouge, Blanchimont, Pouhon and many more. It's in the hilly Ardennes forest area of Belgium, was first opened in 1921 and has been through a few different iterations. It started at over 9 miles, almost 15 kilometres, currently just over 4 miles or 7 kilometres long. It's still the longest circuit on the F1 calendar, and due to its altitude differences, 100 metres top to bottom, it's nicknamed the Ardennes roller coaster.
Well, I think you said it. I mean, it's one of those world-famous circuits that is on every driver's list. You know, great history, a lot of amazing races that have happened here. We can see today here at the square is an amazing atmosphere. So the fans are great, the atmosphere, the area of Belgium here is beautiful. The circuit is super challenging, and so it's always a lot of fun to come here.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that I've been able to tick the Spa box quite a few times. But yeah, it's an amazing track, an amazing venue. You know, just the elevation, the roller coaster ride you're on throughout the whole track is just awesome, you know. And then you throw in these, you know, horrific weather conditions. You know, it just makes it exciting, and no one knows what's going to happen. That's the best bit. No one's got a clue, because you know you can have the fastest car, but if you're on the wrong tyres at the wrong time, then it's still going to go wrong.
I love it. I mean, Spa is one of the best circuits in the world. Doesn't matter what car you're driving it. Obviously the weather was a bit challenging today, but that's also part of this circuit here, and I enjoy myself.
Obviously this place is one of the most difficult tracks in the world, and you combine with the varying conditions yesterday, it made it pretty interesting. Honestly, it's fun, it gets the adrenaline pumping, and makes the racing very interesting.
So time to see what makes this circuit so special. 3 different timing zones, starting at the pit straight and the Formula 1 grid. Quick blast down to the first corner, down into second gear. This is La Source, almost but not quite a hairpin. Then it's downhill, picking up speed to the brilliant Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Raidillon over the top of the brow takes you on to the Camel Straight, which is all uphill, then into Le Combe, right, left, and then right again at Malmedy, the old track going off into the distance on driver's left here, then downhill quite steeply, difficult braking area into the right-hand hairpin at turn 10, Bruxelles, or Rivage as it used to be known. Very easy to go off the track here if you're a little bit greedy on your entry speed. Still falling downhill to the Jackie X corner, or Speaker's corner as it used to be known, and you're plunging downhill to one of the most awesome corners in motorsport, the double left of Pouhon. gravel traps much closer than they have been in previous years, but there's still a bit of runoff on the right-hand side. Still falling down the hill, through into the left, right of Fagnes, and then Campus, and then into the old Stavelot. That's where the old circuit comes back on again. You're picking up speed here and accelerating, again slightly uphill to Blanchimont. Now pretty easily quick in a GT3 car, but once again the runoff has been taken away on driver's right. Nearly through to the end of the lap now, down through the gearbox to the slowest corner on the circuit, down to first gear or second for some of the drivers for the final chicane. That's a lap of Spa-Francorchamps. 2 minutes 20 is a good time. Qualifying on Friday, slightly unusual as all the cars were out on circuit at the same time. You can do that here at Spa because it's such a long circuit. The session is divided into 3 parts of 13 minutes each. 3 drivers per team going out to put in their fastest time, the best lap per driver, and then the team with the fastest average of those 3 are on pole position. Ardennes springtime weather playing its part. It rained.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky out there. First corner is a bit wet, I would say. This is the only corner that's wet. So I was over pushing a bit each lap, but otherwise the rest of the track is pretty much dry. So there is a lot of people on track. It's difficult to manage the traffic because some amateurs are not used to wet track, so you need to find some space and be able to do your time. But yeah, I find at least 1 lap and it was enough.
Here's how they qualified in the TCE division. All kinds of TCR homologated touring cars, 4 or 5 door production vehicles powered by 2-litre turbocharged engine. 3rd place going to the red and white Coupe Leon competition of Holmgaard Motorsport. That's the 102 car. 2nd position in the TCE part of the race and pole for the TCR cars, Team Wolf Power Racing with the 117 Audi RS3. Quick as they were, they could not match the pace of the TCE pole sitters. Not a TCR car, but a TCX. That's the German SRS Team Zorg Rennsport in their Porsche Cayman 718, on average a 1/10 of a second faster than Wolf Power Racing. In the GT category qualifying, the top 3, all 4 rings. 3rd position, a new livery and a new name for the #1 Audi. The former Phoenix Racing team now share a sport, PHX. 2nd place, the Santaloc Junior team, their bright green Audi R8 LMS and the number 26 on the door. They'll start on the outside of the front row. And pole position, dominating the GT division, the number 21 Team Haas RT, backing up their victory in the last race at Mugello. Great performance once again, wet or dry, they did the best job. Fred Verviche bringing the car back to the pits to celebrate with the team after their pole position was won.
It's crazy how quick the track dries, so we were doubting to put the other tire, but at the end, yeah, there's so small time, and yeah, but the decision you make in the beginning of the session you have to go with, and but my teammates did a great job in the beginning, and I think more or less everybody was in the same boat, so cool, very happy for the team after a lot of work.
Brand new car and a new livery for the pole sitter in the 992 Porsche class. The 909 Red Camel Jordan.NL team, Ivo Breukers and his 2 sons, Rick and Lou, incredibly 1.7 seconds faster than the 2nd place Red Ant Racing team. The 758 Team VDS Racing Adventures, pole position in the GTX class with a very special car, the Australian-built Mark II V8. And the GT4 class, a very impressive fastest average from the Czech Senkia Motorsport team in their BMW M4 GT4, the 444 machine on pole position. Welcome to race day 1, Saturday, here in the Ardennes. It's tense on the grid, there's excitement as well, the mechanics and drivers checking every last detail. 12 hours to come, 6 today and 6 tomorrow. The conditions at Spa can always be a bit of a surprise. Sun is shining at the moment though.
Yeah, it's very strange, definitely, especially in Spa. But I think we can expect again some unexpected rain probably in the race, so they will mix up things a bit. Probably tomorrow worse than today. So yeah, I will enjoy the dry time in the start. So.
All smiles from the pole-sitting Audi. Santalok Junior team pretty pleased with second place and on the front row.
Yeah, yesterday we were P1 for a small amount of time before they removed the Antoine lap time for track limit. So yeah, we started on the front row. It's a good place, of course, next to an official Audi driver. So yeah, we'll see if I can follow or overtake maybe. We don't know really yet because it depends a bit of the weather. We saw yesterday that it can change really quickly here, so we can see some cloud already. So we don't know. So we know that the start will be dry, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we all know how important the right strategy is in endurance racing. Here at Spa, more important than ever, paramount in fact.
Well, we're saving Roman for tomorrow when it rains because he's the rainmeister around here. But yeah, obviously in the M class, the semi-pro can only do 3 hours, so we have to we limit when we put him in the car to the best availability.
The German Herbuth Motorsport team are strong supporters of the Hankook 24H series. They've got a new car this weekend, the Porsche 991 GT3R 992.
So far, yeah, really good. Performance-wise, it was okay yesterday. And let's see the race. We did the test on Wednesday, so lost a bit of track time, but in the end, should be working out.
Nick Damon has made his way further down to the back of the grid and is with someone who perhaps we weren't expecting to be here, former Formula One driver Christian Klein.
We had a slight issue in the first qualifying segment with one tyre, then we came in to change it, and then it was too late to set a time for Patrick Krupinski, our team owner. So then obviously the average lap time was gone. That's why we are at the back of the GT3 field and we have to work our way through, but it should be quite a nice afternoon therefore.
Winning at Spa needs the right strategy and a little bit of luck. Having a strategic mastermind like Paul Truswell on your team is not the worst idea.
Well, you do your best, don't you? And you make your calls. The trouble is the weather, as you say. Even now, I mean, there's rain in them there clouds. And, I mean, what we want is for either it to rain properly or for it not to rain at all. The problem is this in-between stuff. And if you run on a drying track with wet tyres, you're only going to kill the wet tyres. So you've got to be very careful when you make the call to change tyres.
Today at Spa, something akin to a 6-hour-long qualifying session. Really only one goal to hit this evening.
Well, I think that today it's about being on the same lap as whoever is going to finish first, and then the real battle is going to start tomorrow.
Audi Sport customer racing teams dominating the front of the grid. Haas RT on pole with Santalok alongside them. Share a Sport on the inside of row 2. The first non-Audi, Ian James, starting the 27 Heart of Racing by SPS Mercedes AMG. Then it's Landon Herbuth, Audi and Porsche. 2 more Porsches on row 4. Modena Motorsports with another new 992 GT3R and the pole sitter in the 992 Cup class, Red Camel Racing. I always think it's a bit cruel to have the cars rolling off past the trophies that will be won tomorrow afternoon. But there they are, onto the formation lap for the Hankook 12 Hours of Spa, Part 1. Huge grid coming into line perfectly on the hash marks for the Grand Prix grid. The red lights are out and we're racing for the first 6 hours here in the Ardennes. The Hankook 12 Hours is on. Good start by the pole sitter down the inside. The blue Audi takes the lead at La Source, or at least holds the lead at La Source. The Santalok Junior team, the green Audi, in second position as they dive down the hill, past the endurance pits on the left-hand side. Already a problem. The Kerkhoff Group car, the 34 machine, there was somebody on the outside of him there. That was Tim Vogler, and the car in the gravel to his left-hand side. Let's see if we can unpick what happened at the start. The leading 3 Audis are fine. Watch for the blue and white number 34. Just coming through the middle of the picture there now. I think there were 4 across the track there for a moment. The car that ended up in the gravel, that was the 903, the red and Porsche 992. And there's another car in there as well that's gone sideways. Oh, that's the Breukers 992 pole sitter in the Cup class. That's an awful start then for the 909. They're going to have to play catch-up from very early on. It's been a great start for Fred Vervee. She's pulled out 2 seconds a lap. In fact, 3 seconds a lap in the first 2 laps. The battle for second now is on. And the Santalog Junior team trying to fight back there. But I'm afraid that blue Audi is disappearing into the distance. Black Land Motorsport Audi closing in. That's Chris Meese. That car was out of position after qualifying. Top 4 are all Audis at the moment. And we've got a bit of debris on the track. Well, that looks like... Is that an Audi headlight? Or is it a Seat? Not sure. But debris on the circuit. It's the Jutta racing car. It was an Audi headlight. They're in the pit lane with the number 71 machine. They've lost their front left headlight and a few other bits of carbon fibre. That's a code 60. That's a virtual safety car, if you like. 60 kilometre speed limit around the track. The marshals able to get on to the circuit to clean up. It's a proper endurance race, a huge amount of racer tape on the left front of the Audi. It's back in the race. Code 60 coming to an end. Oh, brilliant stuff from Chris Meese in actually what is a dark green and grey Audi. It looks black in this overcast light, but he has jumped away as soon as the flags were taken down, and he's made up a position. Look in the background here, the flashing lights. That is Rick Breukers making up ground after his first lap, first corner incident. He's caught up with the GTX Lamborghini here, the 763, down to Jackie Ick's corner. Brilliant run through the field for the young Dutchman. Problems for the 117. Half an hour in. Marcus Menden, this is the car, the 117 Wolf Power machine that Rob Huff was supposed to be in. He's parked at the side of the track, code 60. So what do you do here? The first 2 have come in, Haas RT and Land in the number 55, in and out too.
Well, honestly, I think we did a mistake. Probably the engineers thought the code 60 is going to be longer. I even told them on the radio I can see the car getting pulled away, so I was pretty sure we should have stayed out. And when I arrived here, tires weren't ready. There was only the driver in the pit lane, no lollipop. Big chaos, rookie mistake, and shouldn't have.
The 117 Wolf Power machine came into the pit lane on the back of a tow rope, and the bad news is it's a gearbox leak, and that's game over for the Swiss Wolf Power racing team. Well, 2 code 60s early on certainly jumbled the rankings here on Saturday quite a bit. Tim Vogler in the blue and white Land Motorsport Audi closing in for 3rd position. That's Ralph Bode and the Herberth Porsche, the new 992 at Lecombe. Has a look on the left, has a look on the right. 3rd position up for grabs here as they go through Malmedy and dive down the hill. That new Porsche going very nicely, thanks very much indeed. 2 of the 992s in this race. Modena Motorsport with the other one. Tim Vogler looking at the back of that new 992. It's handling rather well, isn't it? Well, the pass has now happened. Vogler's got through and is pulling away from Ralph Bone. McLaren closing in as well. So Ralph Bone has dropped from 3rd to 5th in a few laps. The McLaren is now through. JP Motorsport with that gold livery. Remember, they started from 40th position. They look quick, very quick indeed. Patrick Kapinski closing in now on the 3rd place, blue and white Audi. He's got a speed advantage over the top. Radion pulls out incredibly early. They're side by side on the first part of the Kemmel Straight. Land Motorsport has nothing for the pace of the car from Woking. And that's a new 3rd place. The rain we had been expecting has arrived, to use a well-worn phrase from the movie Le Mans, and it's absolutely pouring here at Spa. Now, here's where the drivers are going to earn their keep, and even the most experienced are having problems. Big slide down the hill for one of the GT4 Mercedes, and even at relatively slow speeds at Le Combe, it's difficult to hold on to the cars. Haven't changed to wet weather tyres yet. They're trying to tough it out on the Hankook slicks. Incredibly, the overall leader now with 001 and the top right-hand side is the Red Ant Racing, the blue and white Red Ant Racing 904. That's a 992 Cup class car. Behind them, the RD Sainz Lithuania Lamborghini Super Trofeo are leading the GTX class. And the local team, Mark V DS Racing Adventures, in second in that red, white and blue Mark II V8. As we go through the class leaders, GT4 at the moment leading out the green and yellow BMW M4 GT4 of TCL Motorsport Performance. And in the TCE division, it's the second Wolf Power Audi TCR. Good race for them so far in that multicoloured machine. Huge drama halfway up the hill towards Eau Rouge. That's the 702 Vortex. It's been into the wall on the driver's left. Code 60 is out, and as the wheels rolled away, the wheel centre's gone. The wheel centre has gone. Well, we've seen that happen before with the car in Mugello. It was the left rear of the sister car in Italy. So after the most recent Code 60, it's the JP Motorsport McLaren that's come from 40th to 1st position. Christian Klein now driving. Diana in the pits with Patrick Krupinski, who started the car.
It was difficult because I have a lot of slow car in front of me, and a lot of people, they don't look it in the mirror. It was not so easy. We had sometimes small contact, but yes, the car is still okay, and we're at the front.
So a brilliant first part of the race by JP Motorsport. Christian Klein leading the race. What a last hour it's been. We've had Heart of Racing leading, then they're pitted, and the Ravenol #1 Sharer car went into the lead. Then the new 992 Cup class car, Daniel Alleman, led for a wee while. In the TCE division, back in the head of the field, Team SRS Zorg Rennsport in the 227. Almost undrivable conditions at Spa. The track is soaking wet again, and down towards Le Combe, you literally cannot see halfway down the track, and this is causing all sorts of problems. Haas RT into the pit lane. That's a decent pit stop for a set of Hankook racing tyres, the wet weather version. Pole-sitting Audi, Haas RT have not had the race going to their plan. They've been struggling in the difficult conditions. They have not made the best of decisions, to be fair. Down in 14th position at the moment.
Conditions changing every corner, just every corner. Wetter, drier. It's so tricky to feel the car. It's not easy to drive right now.
That's another problem for the pole-sitting Haas RT Audi. Stefan Parent in the wall just after Radion. Big damage to the left front. That left front wheel is not pointing in the right direction. That's going to take some time to get that car fixed and back on track. It's been a great run so far for the Toro Racing Team HRT Porsche 992, 4th overall and leading their class. Adam Christodoulou and his teammates doing a cracking job. Adam behind the wheel right now in these tricky conditions. A very good job, in fact, as he's pulled out almost a minute on the 909, the Dutch Breukers family in the Red Camel Jordan's machine. Rick Breukers behind the wheel, trying to get that gap down.
Well, we just stayed out there. Like, I know this place like the back of my hand, and it was just one of those that if it only rained a little bit, then we'll just stay out there because it dries so fast here. And honestly, the Cup car's a lot of fun to drive, and I think actually when you're on slick tyres versus GT3 cars on slick tyres in the wet conditions, because it's a skinnier tyre, I think it works a bit better. But no, it's a lot of fun out there, so yeah, just try to go as quick as I could. We'll see where we end up after this pit stop, because we were hoping for a safety car, that's why we were, or a code 60, that's why we were staying out there so long. But no, I had a lot of fun out there.
Phew-wee! What the first 4 hours. Here's how they stand. GT Division first, Share Sport in the Audi, leading from the similar car as Santalok. Then it's Herbeth in that new 992 GT3R. Daniel Alleman behind the wheel. HRT Performance, best of the 992 Cup class, ahead of Heart of Racing, JP Motorsport, Land Motorsport, and then another 992 Cup car, the Red Ant Racing Machine. In TCE, Holmgaard for Leon competition ahead of Realekeep by Totkar. And then it's the SRS team Rennsport. That was the pole sitter, of course, in this category, and that's the first of the TCX cars. We've had 8 different leaders, as ever. Spa making sure we have plenty of excitement, and when you add a bit of rain to the mix, that just ramps it up. It's Pierre Caffer leading for Scherer SHX, but Antoine Ducan in the Santalok Audi, the green number 26 is closing in on him. Pierre Caffer, I don't expect him to succumb to the pressure. Former DTM driver, using all of his experience, and in fact, just trying to pull out a bit of a lead at the moment. Do you know, I think it's starting to dry up. 1 or 2 people looking for the wetter lines. Caffer extending his lead at the front of the field. Drama, the leading car, is going back into the garage.
Yes, it was fun, of course, but it was also on the borderline on one stage, as you could see. But I have to say, on the right point, it made click again, and the last couple of laps I could go, but unfortunately now we have some vibrations again, and we are still looking for this problem. I don't know, but it was really fun outside to drive, I have to say.
Big clump of cars coming to the start-finish line. All different types of classes. This is typical endurance racing, with the Jutta Racing car still damaged, of course. Here comes Gosner down the inside. Oh, he's locked up and he's hit the Jutta Audi and the Senker Racing BMW. There's big damage on the Jutta car, and David Gosner's not got away with it either. The engine cover, the bonnet, is right up over the screen, and he's got damage to the left front. There's bodywork rubbing on the Hankook tyre. No surprise, Gosner goes off at Le Combe. He can't see where he's going. So with that unplanned stop for Scherer, it is Heart of Racing and the AMG back at the top. We still haven't seen Roman D'Angelis. He's being saved for tomorrow. Heavy rain expected, and he's a real rainmeister. Antoine Ducan in the second place. Santalok Junior Team Audi has now lapped the 2 Audis behind him. That's the 5th and 6th machines, but he's not closing in on the leader. Daniel Alleman brings the Herbeth Porsche into the pits. This will be a full service. Daniel getting out. Lauren Heinrich getting in. Get new Hankook tyres and some fuel. Drama at Malmedy. 3 cars, maybe 4 cars involved there. The Santalok car has got out of that, the green car, but also involved the 418 PCR Sport, Land Motorsport as well, and Scherer Sport PHX as well. My goodness me, what a kerfuffle. Antoine Ducan has got going, Tim Muller's got going, but Elia Earhart stuck in the Scherer Sport Audi. Seems the Land 55 Audi had more damage than we thought. Chris Meeks has brought it back into the garage.
One of my teammates unfortunately had a little contact earlier, so it looks like the toe link is broken. I just went out of the garage to check the car, and obviously the steering is 45 degrees to the left, which isn't ideal on a track like Spa. So you can't look under the bonnet until you really open it. So we're gonna fix it. It's gonna take about 10-15 minutes, and we go on the track again, but obviously race over.
What a turnaround for JP Motorsport in the distinctive black and gold McLaren. huge problems in Friday qualifying, started right at the back of the GT field, have led the race. Look like they're cruising.
Very difficult race. There's also changing weather conditions, all the code 60s, when to come in to change tires, not to change, putting fuel in the car. It's really a difficult race in terms of strategy, how to play it out. You really have to play the long game, stay on track, no mistakes. I mean, so far we had quite a decent race coming from very far back. Right now on P4, I think. So far, so good. There's still another 6 hours tomorrow. It's very challenging. First of all, it's the first time that JP Motorsport, we as a team are here. So we don't know the other cars, we don't know the other teams, the drivers. Sometimes if you're in the whole year in the series, then you kind of know which drivers to take care of cars. And we have to say, Patrick, our team owner, managed it very well. He did most of the running today. He himself got us up to P4 in the early stages, so he did a mega job. We have to continue this kind of level of driving now, no mistakes, and then it could look like a decent result. But again, it's all up to the strategy, a bit of luck as well. Yeah, the way the race pays out for you.
Well, this is brilliant news for the car that was on pole position almost 6 hours ago. Haas-RT out of the garage, almost 2 hours getting that car fixed. They're not going to be troubling the top of the field, but their endurance racing spirit definitely on shore here. It's the last few minutes of the first 6 hours. Here's the class leaders. HRT Performance in the 930 Toro Racing 992 Cup class car on first position in their class. It's the eye-catching Mark II V8 of VDS Racing Adventures. They've got a comfortable lead of 2 laps in the GTX class for the team from Belgium. Boogie Raz ZM Racing from the United Arab Emirates, leading the GT4 category in their AMG. Holmgard Motorsport, been pretty slick so far. Good lap time, staying out of trouble. They're in TCE lead, 2 laps ahead of Wolf Power Racing. On to the last lap of this first part of the race. Harter Racing by SPS and the Mercedes AMG are leading. This is an AM team from the United States. Ian James and Gray Newell have done all of the driving today, and they still have an ace up their sleeve. Rainmeister Roman De Angelis has his entire drive time available tomorrow. Ian James down in the pit lane.
Yeah, obviously half the job done now, and just the 2 AMs are driven so far, so we're proud to be where we are. I think it's just planning, you know, it's really hard to do the strategy when you don't know what lap to lap the weather's going to do. Keeping the tyres, you know, the right pressures and stuff like that with the changing conditions has been a real challenge, but faultless pit stops did great.
After 6 hours of racing here at Spa this Saturday, Harter Racing, Santalock Junior Team, Herbeth Motorsport, Modena Motorsport and JP's McLaren are all on the lead lap for tomorrow. CP Racing 1 lap back, then it's Hoffer Racing and HRT Performance lead the 992 Cup class in 8th overall. Saturday has given us 6 hours of outstanding racing. 118 laps, 8 different leaders. We've had spins, we've had crashes, we've had code 60s, we've had brilliant battles for positions, some great pit stops, masterful repairs of minor and some major damage and failures. Lap after lap of full speed, full concentration racing. More to come tomorrow. Welcome to Sunday here at Spa-Francorchamps. It's effectively the grand final day. 6 more grueling hours for the cars, teams and drivers. Nothing decided as yet. All the hard work from the last couple of days can be gone in a moment if just one tiny detail is forgotten or is not working properly. Unless you've had prior permission, you can't work on the cars overnight. Refueling also not permitted. Any team that violates these rules gets a 10-lap penalty. Cars rolling off the grids. Just a quick reminder, Heart of Racing, Santalock, Herbeth Motorsport, Modena Motorsport and JP Motorsport in the McLaren, all on the lead lap. CP Racing and Hoffer Racing 1 lap behind. Let's go back racing. Red lights are out and the Super Sunday is underway for 6 hours. Ian James, 2 hour left, goes down to the first corner. The Herbeth Porsche trying to come through from behind, but round the outside, the bright green Santalock Racing Audi had position for a moment as everyone's got round La Source. I'm just pausing to make sure there's no incidents further down in the field. Now that's a pretty decent start up and over the top of Radion for the first time. Land Motorsport number 34 trying to come through traffic, and still the two leaders are at it. Urban Bastard in the green Santalock racing car challenges again, but again he's on the wrong side of the track. It's going to be hard for him to take the lead from that position. First lap of part 2 coming to an end. Hearted racing with Ian James ahead of Urban Bastard for Santalock. Alfred Renard has started the Black Herbeth Motorsport Porsche. Oh, what's happened in the background there? That's a huge off. It's the red and white now. That's Jutter again. That's another big hit for the number 72 car. Looking at the replay, it seems the Audi got a slight touch that shot it into the wall. Oh, what a start. That's the first Code 60, of course, just minutes into the race. This is great news for those who didn't stop at the end of yesterday's race and were tight on tyres and fuel, and a lot of people soaking up penalties in the penalty box as well. So after the usual shuffle from that early Code 60, Renault in the black 91 Porsche is in second place. Urban Bastard behind him in the green Santalock Audi. But Renault working the traffic well and pulling out a little bit of a gap. Great battle in 992, 6th and 7th for the Porsche Cup cars. Sergei Nicolau ahead of the 903. That's Kobe de Bruyker behind them as they head through La Source and prepare to attack Eau Rouge and Radion. Holmgard have been dominating TCE for quite some time yesterday and into today. Their red and white Cupra Leon competition doing everything it needs to. The 102 car on their way. Meantime, the American endurance veterans CP Racing have had a few ups and downs in the last couple of days. Running nicely now, though, that number 85. Charles Espinard is charging. 2 minutes 23 seconds last time around. Comes to the pits in 4th position. Now, we've seen this before from this 85 car. It was the same in Italy. Fuel coming out of the fuel filler on the car's right-hand side. That means an unplanned pit stop for that car. Roman De Angelis finally in the heart of racing Mercedes. 2:21, fantastic lap time, defending the lead. Well, actually, he's pulling away a little bit now. Alfred Renard and Herbeth Motorsport. Brilliant first stint by Roman De Angelis. He's out of the car, Gray Newell in. Here's Nick Damon with him.
Yeah, it was good. A couple of days of not driving and qualifying. Only got one lap because it started pouring and we were on slick. So waiting here for over 24 hours to get in the car. The team obviously did a really good job yesterday putting us in a good position, and it was fun to get out and drive again.
992 Porsche Cup class, providing brilliant entertainment. 7.5 hours into the race. The top 4, 20 seconds apart. It's Red Camel Jordan NL, Red Ant, Vili Motorsport and HRT all in the mix for the victory. Eric Zhang looking to make up a position, gets to the inside. Oh, there's a touch, and he spins the Vili car. Sergio Nicolai is facing the wrong direction at the source. So Sergio Nicolai back into 3rd place in the 992 class, and the battle with Eric Zhang starts all over again. Red Ant Racing have had a great event so far. They're sitting in 2nd position and certainly in contention to take the fight to the leaders, Red Camel.
I think it will be still a hard race. It's not like we can just sit down and relax. We have to make good strategic calls and yeah, push as hard as we can, keep the car as a whole, and don't crash. I think that's the most important. Just stay consistent.
Yannick Redon's charge back to the lead is complete. He's ahead of Luke Breukers. That's a bit of a setback for the Breukers family. I feel I've said this before in this race yesterday and today. TCE, Holmgard Motorsport, cruising, everything going to plan at the moment for the Danish team, leading in TCE 2 laps to Wolf Power Racing.
It was really good. I had a great pace. Started in first position. I was able to keep that position throughout my stint. So all in all, the car is good and the pace is good.
You really have to take your hat off to Wolf Power Racing. They are really trying hard to close that gap to the leaders, Holmgaard in TCE. But that Danish team just making no mistakes. 4 hours still to go. Maybe still a chance. Third place in TCE, the second Cupra on the grid. That's the Rail Equipe by Topcar, the slightly older machine. Just 1 lap behind Wolf Power Racing in second position. Something of a weekend to forget for the number 21 Haas RT Audi. Started so well, pole position on Friday and started at the front of the field yesterday, but 2 hours in the pits after the crash at Radion. They're back at the far end of the field now. Let's hear from Sandrine Haas in the pits.
Challenges started on Wednesday. We had a problem with the engine, so we decided to change it, to check the gearbox, to check everything. So on Thursday, the guys worked all day, actually until 2:30 in the morning, to make sure everything was ready for Friday for the qualifying. Qualifying was fine, and yesterday, well, the rain, the weather, and a mistake, and that was it.
Well, plenty of action already on day 2. 8 hours down, 4 to go. Herbeth and Santalok duking it out at the front of the field for Porsche and Audi. Then it's the AMG of Heart of Racing, JP Motorsport, with the McLaren that started right from the back of the grid there in 4th. And that makes 4 different manufacturers in the top 4. Then the 992 Porsche Cup battle, which is led by Red Ant Racing. In TCE, Holmgaard still holding sway in the Cupra ahead of the Audi of Wolf Power Racing, Rail Equipe by Topcar, and then the TCX leader, Team Zorg Rennsport in the Cayman. It wouldn't be an endurance race without cars that have been patched up. Metres and metres of racer tape. We've had Nick Damon's favourite, the tie wraps as well, and I do think I saw a 10-pound lump hammer at the front of the field. Gray Newell back behind the wheel of the 27 Heart of Racing AMG, doing a good job. But not unsurprisingly, Alfred Renard is catching him in the number 91 Herbeth Porsche. That's no disrespect at all to Gray. He's doing a very good job, but he's losing a couple of seconds a lap to Renard. He's coming very quickly indeed. I'm not sure you can write off the third place Santalok Audi. The number 26 car has been going very well, and they've still got some time from Antoine Ducan, who has been the fastest driver in that car, and tactics may well put him in the car to sprint to the end. 1 lap behind the leaders, Gray Newell. In GTX, still some interest there. VDS Racing Adventures leading. The Mark II V8 needs another 3 hours of faultless running before they can celebrate. Team RD Signs from Lithuania, 2 laps behind in their Lamborghini, but they're quick and they can seize on any mistake that happens by the Belgian VDS Racing Adventures team. In the GT4 cars, a great story. The Bugira ZM Racing driver lineup's interesting. 18-year-old Elia Kolic, true motorsport multi-talent, endurance racing, European truck racing, and even finished the Dakar this year.
Yeah, this race so far been going pretty good. The last race we had a problem in the last 15 minutes, so the first part yesterday it was really tricky with the weather conditions, but we managed to keep the position, and I think so far we're leading, and hopefully it'll go good, and we will see. It's a private team. It's we're like family here. It's we do a lot. We do trucks. We do GTs. So very diverse team, and it's just like a big family.
Leading in the 992 Cup Class, one of our Hankook 24H Series racing families, the family Redont, and the Red Ant racing team. It's in their DNA racing. A couple of hours to go before the end of the race. A superb racing weekend for the likeable Belgians. 5th position overall and leading their class. 2nd place in 992, a lap behind the leaders. the number 930 HRT Performance Toro Racing team. And in third, it's the second Red Ant Racing, the 904. They've done well to come through the field. Can we get a double podium for family and team Red Ant? Our other 992 class racing family have not had the luck this weekend. The Dutch Breukers, Porsche, have had steering problems. They're back in 6th position. No change in TCE. Roy Edlund, Holmgaard Motorsport doing relatively lonely laps at the front of the field. No one getting closer to the Dutch team. And in the overall, it's still going on. Norbert Siegler in the GP Motorsport McLaren, right with Ian James here in traffic, looking for a moment to use it to his advantage. Goes round the outside. Has he got it done 2 by 2 through Brussels? But he's had to drop back in behind. Back at the head of the field, the 91 Herbert. That's 22 lead changes. Dare I say there's been no rain here in Spa. 2 hours to go, crunch time. Drama for the remaining Vortex, the 701. That's Lionel Amarouche. Left rear damage. He's hit the tyre wall somewhere. That's at the top of the hill. That'll bring out a code 60. Pretty much perfect timing to make final stops and driver changes. Herbert into the pit lane. That's Lauren Heinrich getting in behind the wheel. Every second counts here. Santalok Junior team under a minute behind. As usual in Hankook 24H events, one team is rewarded before the checkered flag, and this weekend it's PB Racing, who've overcome all kinds of problems, who take the coveted Spirit of the Race award.
This is the Spirit of the Race award. It's not only for you, it's of course for the whole team. Congratulations.
Into the last half hour, and for the first time in over 10 hours, the Santalok Junior team are at the head of the field. Their first proper lead, really. They only led 1 lap earlier on in the race. Herbert Motorsport have been unlucky with the code 60s, and they've lost precious time. Not sure there's enough now left in this race for them to get back to the lead. In third position, Team Hartner Racing by SPS. May have settled for that now, but I think they'd be pretty happy with it. Class winners in a few moments' time. HRT Performance, the number 930, will take first position in the 992 class ahead of the number 903 Red Ant. A great result for the Belgians. Third, the Villi Motorsports by EB Motors from Italy in the 955. They won in Mugello, of course. At the front of GTX, another Belgian team. They've done a fantastic job with the Mark II V8. Look at it. It looks like it's brand new for VDS Racing Adventures. Second place in GTX will go to GT3 Poland. They sat in a long time third position, but then that late issue for the Lithuanian RD Signs team. In GT4, Bugir ZM Racing, Adam Lacko has the honour of bringing the car at the checkered flag. 12 hours of breathtaking endurance racing is almost over. One more circuit, 7.001 kilometres, just over 4 miles. The victory in sight. The Santalok Junior team from France have a perfect strategy, and Antoine Ducan takes the checkered flag. 250 laps completed here at Spa. In second place, what a debut outing for the new 992 GT3R of Herbert Motorsport. They led 79 laps. Third place overall and winning the GT3 AM class. A near perfect race for Heart of Racing and the AMG. Well done to Ian James and the rest of the team. But the day belongs to Santalok. Let's hear from the winners.
Yeah, it feels pretty good after the Mugello where we finished second. Yesterday we were a bit unlucky with the code 60, but today we were mostly lucky, so yeah, it feels good to be at the first place. Yeah, we all did a mega job. Antoine was especially pretty fast for a second race in a GT3, so yeah, really happy about the job we did.
Here comes the winning car in the TCE division. What a brilliant race from Holmgaard Motorsport. 1 lap ahead of Wolf Power Racing in second. Magnus Holmgaard bringing the car back into Park Furby, and there'll be celebrations. Of course there will be.
So happy because the car was, I think it was to the limit, so we're so happy to get to the end. We have started with some issue and now we just get the podium. Is super nice.
And the winner of the 5th Hankook 12 Hours of SPA-FRANCORCHAMPS here in 2023 is the 26th Santalok Junior team of Owen Bastard, Paul Everard and Antoine de Quinn. And your winners are Holmgaard Motorsport, Jonas Holmgaard, Magnus Holmgaard, Roy Edler Martin and Fidel Mortensen.
Confirmation of the results after 12 hours of racing. The Hankook 12 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps winners, Santalok Junior team, 2nd place Herbert and 3rd SPS, the Heart of Racing AMG, 4th JP Motorsport with the great run back from the back of the field by the McLaren team. HRT are 5th to win the 992 class ahead of Red Ant, Modena Motorsport in 7th and Veely Motorsport in 8th. Dutch promoter Creventic have put together a spectacular Hankook 24 H Series event for the Hankook 12 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps. Amazing racing, incredible performances from teams, drivers and mechanics, and well-deserved winners. The rain and difficult conditions have made Spa-Francorchamps one of the most challenging courses around the globe, and it didn't disappoint this weekend. Next race, we're at the Italian Mecca for Motorsport, the world-famous high-speed Autodromo Nazionale Monza. I'm John Hindhoff. See you there.